The regular sign and die meeting for Bucyrus City Council for January the 7th, 2020 is called to order. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'd like to take a moment of silence to keep our armed forces in our hearts and in our prayers. Iran has attacked a U.S. base in western Iraq. May God be with them. Roll call, please.
Bucyrus.
Here.
Myers.
Here.
Whiteball. Here. Trucca.
Here.
Sack. Boone.
Here.
Shaw.
Here.
I need a motion to excuse Ms. Sack.
Second.
By Mr. McKeever.
Second.
Second by Mr. Coe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion passed. I need a motion to accept the December 17th, 2019 minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wirebaugh, second by Mr. McKeever. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion passed. This is where we grant permission for visitors to speak. Does anyone care to address council this evening? Yes, your name and address, please.
My name is Jenny Vermillion, 515 Hill Street, Bucyrus, Ohio. I would first like to, hang on, I couldn't print it off, so I have to do it on this, I'm sorry. I'd first like to thank the members of council who are leaving this evening for their service to our community. I would also like to thank the members of council who are beginning their terms tonight for their faith in our local government process. I'd like to ask the new council members to consider Bucyrus Codified Ordinance 111.11. I have copies if anybody wants one. I understand that supposedly council has extreme latitude in exercising the power, excuse me, but consideration of the ordinance would be appreciated. Bucyrus Codified Ordinance 111.11 states, every proposed ordinance and resolution shall be read first for information on the day when introduced, which shall constitute a first reading of such ordinance and resolution. The same shall be taken at a subsequent meeting of council, when it shall be read a second time and may be amended. When amended, it must be referred again to council, who will report back to it must be referred again to committee, who will report it back to council in its amended form, and it shall, again, have a first reading. Unless otherwise ordered by council, it shall then lie on the table, excuse me, until subsequent meetings for a second and third readings before its final passage or adoption. No amendment shall be received for discussion at the third meeting of any ordinance or resolution, but it shall be in order at any time before final passage or adoption to move to refer an ordinance or resolution to a committee for amendment. Any ordinance or resolution so referred shall, when reported back to such committee, be put on its first reading as hereinbefore set forth. However, under suspension of proper rule, an ordinance or resolution may be put on its final passage or adoption at one meeting of council. The practice of the suspension of rules to expedite the passage or adoption of an ordinance and resolution shall not be used. And other emergency ordinances and resolutions excuse me, shall not be disposed of at one meeting of council unless a real advantage in doing so is shown to exist. There are members of this new council that promoted and ran for office on the pretext of transparency. There is nothing more transparent than allowing the general public time to respond to legislation with a proper three-reading process. There are going to be circumstances that will necessitate passing legislation as an emergency, but as Bucyrus Codified Ordinance 111.11 states, unless a real advantage in doing so is shown to exist. I would also appreciate council to consider full repeal of Bucyrus Codified Ordinance 129.011. Thank you.
Any questions or comments? We'll wait and allow the new council to place that into committee. Anyone else address the meeting this evening? None? Committee reports from the 2018-2019 term Public Lands and Buildings, Mr. Wireball.
All right, set city council joint regular committee meetings. Thursday, December 19th, 2019, we began at 6 p.m. Members present, Mark McKeever, Kevin Myers, Dan Wireball, Doug Vogt, Andrew Schott. Monica Sack arrived at 6:12 p.m. Bruce Truca was absent. Bucyrus City was called to order at 6:01. There was no public participation or committee business. First up was Public Lands and Buildings Committee, 6:02 p.m. Members present, Doug Vogt, Mark McKeever, and myself, Chair. AEP charging station parking space. The Crawford County Partnership has been awarded a $94,000 grant through AEP for the installation of an electric vehicle charging station in the city on December 3rd. Council passed legislation to accept the grant funds and then in turn reimburse the partnership the full amount for charging station construction costs. A parking space also has to be dedicated for the station, and it was determined by AEP and the partnership that a space in city parking lot number 6 by Picking Park in Washington Square would be most feasible because of its visibility and a utility pole already installed at that location. On December 17th, council referred to the committee a letter received from Mayor Jeff Reeser representing the City Traffic Commission recommending that the committee designate a specific parking space for the charging station and include a 2-hour limit. Erin Stein of the partnership informed council in an email that the parking space sought by her organization and AEP is the one closest to the brick sidewalk on the Copper Kettle side facing South Walnut Street. It was also noted that the Traffic Commission has talked about painting the space green. McKeever made a motion to recommend to the Traffic Commission that the parking space so detailed be dedicated for the charging station and include a 2-hour limit. With a second by vote. Motion passed by voice vote. Wireball recess, Public Lands and Buildings Committee at 6:06 p.m.
Any questions or comments regarding the minutes? None? Moving on, Planning Committee. Is it Planning? Finance Committee.
All right, and Finance Committee members, Finance Committee began on Thursday, December 19th, 2019 at 6:06 p.m. Members present, Kevin Myers, Andrew Schott, and myself, acting chair. Council clerk appointment. Legislation is required by state law to appoint a clerk for the 2020-2021 council term at the first regular meeting of the term on January 7th, 2020. Council President Sis Love recommended reappointing Todd J. Hill as clerk for 2020-2021 on a full-time basis at an hourly rate of $22 in 2020 and $23 in 2021, in line with anticipated annual pay raises of 2.25% in the city's upcoming contract with the ASME union, retroactive to January 1, 2020. Myers made a motion to so appoint Hill to the position of council clerk with a second by Schott. Motion passed by voice vote. Wireball adjourned the Finance Committee meeting at 6:12 p.m.
Any questions or comments regarding the Finance Committee minutes? No. Moving on to Planning Committee, Mr. McKeever.
Yes, planning met Thursday, December 19th, 2019 at 6:12 p.m. Members present, Monica Sack, Kevin Myers, and myself, Chair. Number 1, Tiffin Hill rezoning proposal. Kevin Locke of Upper Sandusky has requested a zoning reclassification of his property at 718 Tiffin Street from suburban residential R2 to neighborhood business NB, so a new medical facility can be opened there.
A public hearing on the proposed rezoning was held on December 16th. Council President Love noted that the police department will move its speed trailer into the area and more closely monitor the speed of the vehicles in the area. Concerns about a lack of street lighting in the area were also voiced, and the administration was requested to consult with AEP about adding more lighting there. Zoning Administrator Landon Hill observed that even if Locke's business plan were to fall through, any future proposal would still require approval from the Board of Zoning Appeals to come to fruition. SAC made a motion to request final legislation to amend codified ordinance 1157.02 to redesignate property at 718 Tiffin Street to neighborhood business NB. Myers seconded the motion, passed by voice vote. McKeever recessed. Planning Committee at 6:20 p.m.
Any questions or comments regarding the planning committee report?
I have a comment. I spoke with the zoning administrator about these minutes, and I neglected to make the change here. The phrase that says any future proposal would still require approval from the BZA, that should read any multifamily housing proposal would require approval from the BZA.
Yeah, that's correct.
We should probably amend that. Those minutes reflect that.
Okay, do I have a motion to make that amendment?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Myers, second by Mr. McKeever. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Okay, as amended. Okay, any final thoughts or anything from Economic Development Committee? For this term? Nope. Health and Safety Committee, Mr. Myers?
Other than to thank Mr. Schock outgoing for your service to the committee.
Service Committee? Okay, moving on, Traffic Commission, we don't have any minutes or anything from them. Any questions for the mayor regarding traffic? None? I need a motion to accept the committee minutes and the related committee reports collectively.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. McKeever, second by Mr. Foat. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion passed, thank you. Report of city officers of the 2018-2019 term. Mayor?
Yes, thank you, Madam President, for the last time. And also thank you to our distinguished outgoing council members. You will be a tough group to replace. On behalf of your city residents, whom you have served so well, I say thank you. And more important, stay involved in community activities. I know that Council President Love is going to be a very important part of the 2020 census, leading her charge on that, and we thank you for that. And to the incoming Council of 2020, we welcome you and wish you Godspeed. And as I mentioned at the swearing-in ceremony, you continue a nearly 200-year tradition of service, and your community is grateful. Rural America, including communities like Bucyrus, we face challenges that are unique to this generation, as every generation has. We manage the day-to-day operation of the city, keeping the streets clean and safe, providing utilities, but we also need to keep our heads up and look ahead and plan for the Bucyrus that we want to see for the next generation in order to attract residents and make sure that our workforce has the education and skills that match up with their jobs, and that our neighborhoods are clean, attractive, safe. We also have affordable housing, which we are taking steps now to look into. If you want to be liked by everyone, then you will find this is not the place for you. You'll have to make unpopular decisions, and certainly, and I know the outgoing council members would agree with me, you'll never be able to please everyone. You are serving in I guess what I would call the Facebook era, where opinions can come fast and furious, and anyone can say anything. And, so try not to be thin-skinned. Sometimes it's tough, I understand, but you're in a position where you are leading the city, so we represent the city offices and have respect for those offices. The decisions that you make, you will need to discern what your position is, and hopefully it will be fair to all. Finally, I ask that you take your position seriously. We were elected to represent the citizens of Bucyrus to the best of our abilities, and we owe it to them to show up to every meeting. Our attendance at meetings is important. I know that sickness can come up unexpectedly, but vacations are planned in advance. So please plan your vacations around the first and third Tuesday council meetings and the following Thursday committee meetings. And my goal would be to see 100% attendance this year. Wouldn't that be great? Good luck to all of you, and Jeff, Kelly, and I are happy to help you in any way that we can to make your transition as smooth as possible. Thank you, Madam President.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions or comments for the mayor this evening? None? Mr. Wagner's not with us. We don't have a report.
Yeah, we have a report.
We do have a report.
Yes, the judge report, there's referral to material bids for service committee and the mill and pave to the planning committee. An update on our city's aggregation plan. City's January electric aggregation rate that will be reflected in next month's billing is 0.0527 per kilowatt hour, and our gas aggregation rate is 0.436 per cubic foot. Our broker is currently working on lowering the gas rate as natural gas prices continue to decline. There are solicitors going door to door for various utility companies, and Jeff wants to make sure that pay attention to the rates and terms before you sign up. And if you have any questions, feel free to call us up at the mayor's office. We had a water leak detection company in again this year looking for any leaks throughout the city, and we found that to be a very good investment for us. The concrete pile is diminishing rapidly out at the compost site, wastewater treatment plant. Eshelman Concrete is doing the work. Community Foundation grant that has been applied for the high dive this year again, for the stand of the board itself and labor and installation. And the labor and installation load dive also the Community Foundation. We will not know until April if we've been awarded the grant. And we did a little Facebook thing this week. We're no longer picking up leaves. The machines have been put away for the year. Continue to take your leaves to the compost site through this weekend. So if you have leaves, get them out there by this weekend if you could. The hours are Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then it will open again in the spring. Just report.
Okay. Any questions or comments about the report?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought we had money for the low dive.
The low dive, I'm not 100% sure if that was, Joe, do you remember on the low dive, was that in part of the?
I think we had money for the low dive. I thought it was the high dive.
The low dive was for the board, but we did for the labor and installation is what we're. I think we got the board, I'll get back with you, but I think it's just the labor and installation we applied for the grant for.
Well, that's cool. See some swimming this
So would we.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, we'll leave all of the referrals to the new council. Okay. Law Director, Mr. Ratliff.
Thank you, Madam President. Well, have a report. It's been fun working with you.
Okay, Auditor, Mrs. Schiffer.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to thank our outgoing council members and you, Madam President, for your service. And it's been a pleasure working with everyone, and I look forward to working with the new council. You do have a year-end monthly statement of cash. And also, I received in the mail yesterday the notification that the city has received the Certificate of Achievement of Excellence in Financial Reporting again for our 2018 CAFR. So, end the year on that note. And that's all I have.
Okay, the auditor's statement of cash position is in your packet for this evening. It's been submitted, it'll be approved at the next meeting. Moving on, before you, you have the treasurer's report for September of 2019. I need a motion to accept and file that.
So, second.
Motion by Mr. McKeever, second by Mr. Myers. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passed. Thank you. We have nothing from the police chief or the fire chief this evening. I need a motion to accept the city officers' reports.
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, who was Mr. McKeever? Motion by Mr. McKeever, second by Mr. Fote, to accept the city officers' reports. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passed. Do we have any reports of any special committees of the 2018-2019 term? I don't believe so. Any unfinished business from the 2018-2019 term that you'd like to bring up this evening? None? Okay. Then what we have is we got a couple presentations we'd like to make. If you would, if Mr. Wireball and Mr. Schock would join me in front, please. Okay, Mr. Schock, this says presented to Andrew Schock in appreciation of your service to the citizens of Bucyrus City Council, 4th Ward, 2018 through 2019. Thank you very much for your service. Very much appreciated. Nice to get to know you. Knew you in town, but hadn't really had an opportunity to spend any time, but it's been a good 2 years. Thank you very much for your service. Presented to Dan Wireball in appreciation of your service to the citizens of Bucyrus City Council at Large, 2012 to 2013 and 2016 through 2019. Unlike him, I've known you since you were a baby. Your mother and father and...
My dad worked for your dad.
Yes, he did. He was out of Crawford Lanes. It was a very proud employee out there. And Dad loved him, that's for sure. So, and this is for you. Thank you very much. A round of applause for these gentlemen.
Stay there. And I have to make a presentation to you.
Okay.
And I should know that. I'm gonna miss all these guys too. And especially you. You have been a fixture here since 2004. You were council at large, 2004, 2011. City council president for 7 years, 2012 to 2019. But people don't realize you were acting mayor also. And so
42 days.
And congratulate you, the first female mayor of this community. So you've had a lot of accomplishments here. And you've run the meetings so well, and we've learned a lot from you. A lot from you. And we're going to miss you. So thank you.
Miss you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Will I get a picture there? So what people don't realize is Sis has a granddaughter that plays for Marshall University basketball, and she goes to almost every game on the way. So now you're gonna have a little more free time to do that.
I will. I'll be doing some traveling, that's for sure.
Yes.
And I just want to say thank you to everybody. It's been my privilege to serve the city all these years, and I hope I can say that I left it in good hands. Thank you. Okay, the last thing is I need a motion to adjourn, sign, and die.
So moved.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pogue, second by Mr. Wireball. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passed. We adjourn, sign, and die at 7:25 p.m. Thank you. We'll take a short recess here.
The 2020 to 2021 council order, beginning with the roll call.
McKeever.
Here.
Myers. Here. Mead. Here. Trucca.
Here.
Yocum.
Here.
Vogt.
Here.
Allsep.
Here.
The first thing we're going to do is appointment of the council clerk to the 2020 to 2021 term, which is Todd Hill. Need a motion.
So moved. Second.
Mr. McKeever made the motion and Mr. Myers seconded the motion. Consideration of proposed legislation.
Just a voice vote.
Oh, we need a full
Just a voice vote.
voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Consideration of proposed legislation for the first time.
I will read the caption, resolution number 201-2020, appointing Tandre Hill to fill the position of Bucyrus Council Clerk on a full-time, 40-hour per week basis throughout 2020 and 2021 at an hourly figure of $22 an hour for 2020 and $23 an hour for 2021, together with the available health insurance and sick leave entitlements, etc., for all non-union, non-elected, full-time, 40-hour per week city employees. Further, the clerk's 40-hour per week position shall include his attendance at all regularly scheduled and specially called council meetings and regularly scheduled and specially called committee meetings. Further, the clerk shall be paid compensation of 1 1/2 times the basic hourly rate for hours worked over 40 hours when authorized by the council president. Said appointment retroactive to January 1, 2020 and declaring an emergency. And then it's referred back to the finance committee.
Do I have a motion to accept that as first reading?
So moved. Second.
It's been made by Mr. Myers as first and seconded by Mr. McKeever. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So we're going to refer that back to finance committee.
Any participation on legislation?
Is there any public participation on that legislation that was just read? Okay, there's none. So the committee report on the pending legislation is,
The finance chair hasn't approved yet, but that is on the table, that motion's on the table to have McKeever, Mr. McKeever be the finance chair, so I would imagine it would be Mr. McKeever to say he's favorable or unfavorable.
so, Mr. McKeever?
Yes, finance is favorable to resolution 201-2020, appointment of Todd J. Hill to council clerk for 2020 and 2021 term.
Is there a motion to accept that report?
So moved. Second.
It's been made as motion by Mr. Foat, seconded by Mr. Trucca. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
This is where you the cheat sheet.
So do I just start reading here? Okay, for the second and third reading of proposed ordinance number 201-2020, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the readings of the caption and text, and declare it an emergency?
So moved. Second.
It's been,
McKeever.
Yes.
Trucca.
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Vogt.
Yes.
Allsep.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Mead.
yes.
Resolution number 201-2020.
Do I hear a motion to adopt the proposed ordinance number 201-2020?
So moved.
Second. It's been moved by Mr. Foat and seconded by Mr. Myers.
Vogt.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Mead.
Yes.
Trucca.
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Allsep.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Ordinance number 201-2020 is adopted.
Can we have a recess? If anyone wants to recess, we just started, so.
Does anybody want to recess?
No.
Okay, we will not have a recess. Next is the nomination for council president pro tem for the 2020-2021 term.
I nominate Bruce Truca for pro tem. Second.
Okay, it's been nominated by Mr. McKeever and seconded by Mr. Myers.
Any motion to close nominations if there are any?
I'll move to close nominations.
I'll second that.
Here comes the train.
Okay. I accept.
Okay,
Motion to accept. Bruce Trucca.
motion to accept Bruce Truca as council president.
Take a vote on those motions to close. Okay, yes, yes. We need a voice vote to close the nominations. We have Myers and votes, so all in favor to close the nominations.
Aye.
And all opposed.
All opposed? Okay, so that passes. Motion to accept Bruce Truca as president pro tem. We have a motion.
So moved. Second.
Been moved by Mr. Foat, seconded by Mr. McKeever. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Truca, you are president pro tem.
Thank you to everyone.
Okay.
The only else, yes,
Okay, so in your packet, we have the proposed committee appointment for this term. So for Economic Development Committee, we have Mr. Foat, Chair. She's currently the chairman of it now. Ms. Candy Yocum, Lisa Allsett, and Kevin Myers. And for the Finance Committee, we have Mr. McKeever as chair, and Kevin Myers, Mr. Truca, and Mr. Mean. And for the Health and Safety Committee, we have Kevin Myers as chairman. She's already chairing that. Mr. McKeever, Bruce Truca, and James Mean. For the Cladding Committee, we have Mr. McKeever again. He's already the chairman of that committee currently. And we have Mr. Truca, Mr. Foat, Mr. Mean. And then for the Public Lands and Building Committee, Andy Yocum, chairperson, Mr. Foat, Mr. McKeever, and Mr. Truca. For Service Committee, we have Mr. Truca as chairman, who's currently chairman of it now, and Mr. Myers, Lisa Allsett, and Candy Yocum. Does anybody have any discussion on that? If there's no discussion, we will entertain a motion to accept those committee appointments.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Myers and seconded by Mr. Truca. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay. Is there any visitors that would like to address council? Please step up to the podium and state your name and address.
My name is Carolyn Shireman. I live at 1065 Eastville Avenue, Bucyrus, Ohio. I'm the founder of the Positive Seekers, and the first thing I would like to do is, Kurt, I would like to give you this that I made so you can hang it in your office. whatever office you're at.
We'll get together here after the meeting and hours.
Okay, another little thingy. The Positive Seekers welcomes Kurt Fankhauser to the President of City Council seat. You are worthy of the seat that you are filling. Welcome to Lisa Haslett to her new seat. The citizens are confident that you will listen and speak for us. Welcome to Candace Yoakum and James Mee. I urge the new members to stand tall for what your visions are to the council. Remember this, the citizens of Bucyrus put you there. We believe in you. Bucyrus has needed a change in council seats for a long time, and now you are here to speak for us, the community. We urge you, Kurt, to keep the transparency alive that you promised us. The citizens need to be heard. You will hear us now. For all the members of council, I ask that you remember this. It is your duty as council members to welcome each of our new members. You are all a team now, and you should portray yourself as such to the people who voted you in your seats. We have begun a new year with new faces and new hopes for the city that desperately needed this change. The city does not need any more parks. Update the ones we have. All Miller Park is beautiful. Update it. We don't need a dangerous bike lane on Sandusky Street. I ask you this, would you members of council let your children ride this path? I have one more question for the mayor, if I could. Since you have closed the door to myself and the Positive Seekers, do we now take our concerns to the president of council? The Positive Seekers has reached out many olive branches to you with absolutely no response other than the email I posted on Facebook where you refused to meet with us and your reason why. And actually, there's a copy of this too on the back of the files. I have never worked for any political party, and I have the right to vote for whomever I feel who will be for me. Your actions cause me to vote differently. In ending, the Positive Seekers wants to welcome each and every one of you to the seats that should hear what the citizens want and not what you want. You must be fair and balanced. Congratulations to all of you. Carolyn Shireman, the Positive Seekers.
Does anybody else want to address council tonight? Hearing none, we will move on to the communications and petitions.
We just have one communication this evening. This is addressed to Bucyrus City Council, which was received on Monday, January 6th. During a time like this, we learn how much our family and friends really mean to us. Your expression of sympathy will always be remembered. Thank you for your gift of flowers in memory of Perry, with love, David and Carly Kepke. This list needs to be accepted and filed, and we need a motion there.
We have a motion to accept a letter from the deputies.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Alsop and seconded by Ms. Yoakum. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Standing committee reports. Economic development, Mr. Vogt, do you have anything for the 2020 to 2021 term?
Just look forward to the start of the new year.
And then finance committee, Mr. Bucyrus.
Same thing, starting a new year, we'll do the best we can. And I'll say that also for planning.
Okay.
Well, I'd say that.
And health and safety, Mr. Myers.
Echo the same sentiments, looking forward to a new year, working with
And Ms. Yocum, Public Lands and Buildings.
I look forward to serving my city and working with everybody here on council.
And then Service Committee, Mr. Truca.
I also look forward to having all my new members and one old member. And we have a lot on our plate when it comes to service. There's a lot of outstanding issues right now in service. And as of tonight, the mayor received, has a request for us to look at material bids. And material bids are dealing with anything that the city might use in the upcoming year, whatever kind of supplies they might need.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Truca. And then, Mr. Mayor, do you have a traffic commission?
No, I have no reports.
Okay, I need a motion to accept the committee minutes and related committee reports collectively. So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Foat, seconded by Ms. Olson. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes are, the committee reports are accepted. Report of city officers. Mr. Mayor.
No report for this one. I gave my report for the first meeting.
And is there a safety service director?
Same thing. Just report for the first meeting.
Those two service and one focus. Motion is covered.
Okay, so, there's a safety service director has requested a referral for the mill and pave, go to the planning committee. Do I have a motion to send that one?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Ford first did that, and Mr. Peter seconded it. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And then also a material bid needs to be referred to the service committee. Motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Trugan, seconded by Mr. McKeever. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. And then, Mr. Ratliff, do you have a report?
I do not have a report, Mr. President, but thank you, and welcome everybody. Please, if you have any questions about what you can or can't do, or, those sorts of legal kinds of issues, since you're all new, don't hesitate to give me a call. We'll try to figure it out. When I don't know the answer, which is more frequent than I'd like to admit, we'll look it up and we'll figure it out. So.
Okay, thank you for that report. Then the auditor, Mrs. Schiffer, do you have a report?
Thank you, Mr. President. The statement of cash was presented at the earlier meeting, but there is the year-end reports for the income tax fund comparisons and the revenue tallies to budget to show where we ended up at the end of the year. So if you have any questions on that, you can see me later. That's just for your information. And I do have a referral for the Finance Committee. I need to refer a couple appropriations in the sewage disposal fund that somehow did not get in the 2020 budget that should have been there. It had been approved and whatever, but the numbers didn't quite get to my hands to go into the budget. So we need to appropriate $86,500 to contractual services and $64,200 to capital outlay. That's both within sewage disposal operations and maintenance category within the sewage disposal fund. So we'll have the breakdown of the numbers and what it's for and everything on Thursday night for the committee meeting.
Okay, so I need a motion to refer to Finance Committee the appropriations that the auditor just stated.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Yocum and seconded by Mr. McKeever. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Do we have a treasurer report? Is there a police chief? Okay, I need a motion to accept all the city officers' reports.
So moved.
Second.
There is a motion by Mr. McKeever, seconded by Mr. Myers made a motion, seconded by Mr. Truca. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Accept those reports. Is there any visitors' input regarding reports of the standing or special committees or the city officers? Okay. So, consideration of proposed legislation for the first time.
We have one ordinance for the first reading, ordinance number 1/2020, amending and supplementing section 1157.02 entitled Official Zoning District Map, under chapter 1157 entitled Zoning Districts and Zoning District Map, under title 9 entitled Zoning Districts, under part 11 entitled Planning and Zoning Code of the codified ordinances of the city of Bucyrus, by the redesignation of the property located at 718 7th Street for parcel numbers 0800 1811 1004 and 0800 1811 2000 from R2, the suburban residential district, into NB, the neighborhood business district. This needs to be referred back to planning.
Do I have a motion to accept that as a first reading?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Foat, made that motion, Mr. McKeever seconded it, all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now it's going back to the planning committee. And we also have consideration of proposed legislation for the second time.
This is, we have one ordinance number 61/2019. I will read through section 1, amending and supplementing section 129.011 entitled Residency of chapter 129 entitled Department of Public Service Safety of part 1 entitled Administrative Code of the codified ordinances of the city of Bucyrus, Ohio. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the city of Bucyrus, state of Ohio, a majority of all members represented concurring in section 1. That section 129.019 entitled Residency of chapter 129 entitled Department of Public Service Safety of part 1 entitled Administrative Code of the codified ordinances of the city of Bucyrus, Ohio, be and the same hereby is amended and supplemented to read as follows to wit. 129.011 Residency. The Director of Public Service shall establish his residency within a 5-mile radius of the city limits within 6 months after his appointment. Ordinance 23-00 passed April 4 of 2000. That is referred back to council as a whole. Finance.
You accepted this as a second reading, but you wouldn't refer it back to committee because it's just a second reading.
Okay, so I need a motion to accept that as the second reading.
So moved.
Second.
It's been made a motion by Mr. McKeever and seconded by Mr. Truca.
Myers, no, Mr. Myers.
Oh, it's been made a motion by Mr. Myers and seconded by Mr. Truca. All those in favor of accepting that as a second reading, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Is there any public participation? Any member of the general public may present their input or comments on legislation that's been read for the first time. Does anybody? Okay, none. Committee reports on pending legislation.
I'm sorry, ordinance 124 is passed.
Okay, so, Mr. McKeever,
Yes, planning committee is favorable of ordinance 1-2020, Tiffin Hill Street rezoning request.
Just to check with the law director, because second reading, we do not need a committee.
Right, so you skip, you don't do that.
I didn't do that. So we need a motion to accept those reports.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Foat, seconded by Mr. Truca to accept the reports. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The reports have been accepted.
we can ask for a motion to suspend the second and third readings, or we can hold that into the second reading in 2 weeks. So that's between the reason. Council. You can ask if there's a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Okay, so the rezoning request on Tiffin Hill Street. Is there any motion to suspend
That's that cheat sheet.
the second reading of the ordinance 201-2020? Do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the reading of the caption and text?
And it's not an emergency, it's a short break, so that's it.
Okay.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
McKeever,
Yes.
Vogt,
Yes.
Allset,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Mead,
Yes.
Trucca,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Resolution number 201-2020.
For the third reading of,
We suspended the second and third, this is to adopt, motion to adopt.
okay. Okay, do I hear a motion to adopt ordinance number 201-2020?
So moved. Second.
Myers. Myers.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Mead.
Yes.
Trucca.
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Vogt.
Yes.
Allset.
Yes.
Ordinance number 201-2020 is duly adopted.
This is where either you can ask if there's a motion to suspend the third reading and adopt, and if there is, then we can do that, and if there isn't, then it's the next meeting.
Okay, so you don't have to make a motion, but does anybody want to make a motion to suspend the?
Yeah, just for the third reading.
Any? I hear a motion to suspend the rules and waive the reading for
Third reading.
the third reading. Do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the reading of caption text and
And it's just right.
it's just regular, which we don't have. Okay, so we haven't heard a motion for that, so
There'll be a third reading in 2 weeks. And then dismiss.
is there any old and unfinished business? No? You still got some?
There's quite a few. We'll discuss it later. Nothing new right now.
Okay. Does anybody have any new business?
Those 2 referrals.
Okay. We have 2 referrals that need to be referred to committee. One being the subcommittee appointments, which there are some, that goes to economic development, so do I have a motion to send that to committee?
So moved. Second.
Been moved by Mr. Fogue, seconded by Mr. Myers. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. It's going to committee. And then the second referral is the council rules and procedures. So is there a motion to send that?
This will go to an ad hoc committee to be formed when it's brought up in the joint regular committee.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Myers, seconded by Mr. McKeever. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And,
It's the discussion now.
okay, so the email address and stuff, there were some issues that came up this week on what the email addresses were gonna be. And, like right now, or the last council, it was all their names. Previous councils, it had been like Ward 1 at Bucyrus, and it had like the names for wards and stuff, so what is everybody's thoughts on what do you want your email address to be? Do you want it to be your name?
Mr. President.
And I think when I spoke with you about it, you said that there's the ability to have a redundancy so that technically the name and the position both could be an active email address. Is that correct?
So, yes and no. The email address, you can have a regular email account, and then, like let's say it's your name, @City of Bucyrus, and then you can have another email that's not an active address, but it just forwards to that first address. So you could essentially have council_1 @City of Bucyrus, which if somebody sends to that, it would forward to your name address, and then once you start corresponding with somebody, they're gonna pick up.
I don't take any issue with how it has to be done behind the scenes either way. I'm in favor of the name rather than the position.
The only reason it was brought up is because my name is so long. I figured with that and then the whole City of Bucyrus thing, it was just gonna be too long. So I had suggested that mine be just Council Pres @City of Bucyrus. But I'm fine with my name being on there as long as that address of Council Pres would just automatically forward to my name.
I have no preference either way.
I think the names, when you have them, it gives a little bit more, it's a little more personable than you're emailing. But, you got something?
Well, I think for myself, I'm okay with the Ward 1 at council. It's always been that way up until just a few short years ago, and it was just recently changed to the names. So always in the past, history always had it as Ward 1. And I'm fine by that because there's a lot of people that are out there that I think they should know me, but they really don't know. So they just go ahead and say, oh, okay, well, my councilman is Ward 1, and that's how. So, I mean, it's a driver to me. I mean, as you know, as their representative for Ward 1.
Would you be okay if it was your name, but if somebody sent it to the Ward 1, it got automatically forwarded to your name?
Sure, that'd be great.
Because I guess there's some stationery outs, business cards that already got the names printed on them.
I can speak to that. Yeah, what we're talking about refers also to the website and the business cards, which aren't in yet, and the stationery, which is not in yet. I put a hold on that order until tomorrow, so we can have a discussion, which we're having now, and make a decision on whether we want to do council at ours 1, 2, 3, Ward 1, 2, 3, 4, or Ben McKeever, K. Myers, J. Me, etc. That's going to be on not just your email addresses, but it will be your stationery, our stationery, your business cards, and the website as well. So either way you want to go, we can do one or the other, or we can do both. I don't know how that would work, but one or the other, and then we can get that going tomorrow. And just since I've got the floor, I'll give you 2 other housekeeping notes. The new members, in your packets at the very back, you should have some documents from Joyce regarding the one-time balances for the time. And I have some extra copies here, so if you don't see that in your packet, let me know. There are a lot of paper moving around here. You've also got the subcommittee appointments that we'll pick up on Thursday. Looks like this. It's got some new paper. If you don't have it, let me know. And finally, again, this is just the new members. We have the open projects updates. That's this little type here in the horizontal pages. If you don't have this, let me know. We update this about every 2.5 months. These are dating from early November. They'll be updated again in a few months. When we have our committee meetings on Thursday, and every regular committee meeting, everything on this open project was going to be brought up at your discussion. So if you don't have these in your file, let me know. I have some extra. And that's all I got today.
Okay, so back to the email. We can have the names, but then it be listed on the website as not the names, and it's still going to get to your name and email. So,
On the website, it's going to have our name with the link right under it, so that's
true.
yeah. So that's acceptable. I like on the business card to have your name on it.
I think, personally, I think it looks a little more personable when it has the name other than if it's just a ward number and you're getting that email back. So even though I was the one that first said, let's change it back, I'm kind of leaning towards, I'd like to keep it on the name. Anybody got any other comment on that?
I think I agree with Bruce to keep it as it has been. With like he said, they may not know him, but they send it to the first ward, or second ward, third ward, or fourth ward, or council at large. But like you said, have it forward to your own email.
Yeah. Well, you could have it listed as Ward 1, or you can just tell anybody, or they can email to that. It's going to get to, because the last 2 years you've been operating with the name. It's to be flipping back and forth probably isn't good. I think we might just keep it as a name then.
Okay, I actually have one other comment. Some members, new members have had issues with their emails, accessing their emails. Just FYI, the city emails are Gmail account. So you need to go into Google, go into Gmail, and set it up. And then once you put that email address in there, you can get in there. These emails have just been carried over from the last council members. So in Mr. Mee's case, it was Mr. Waterball until the end of last year. Now it's you. All those emails will still be in there from last year. That just carries over to the next council person. But you have to go into Google, into Gmail, to get access to that email. If you have any issues, and we've had a number of various issues on this, so any issues, let me know. I'll contact our email administrator, and we'll get this up and running as soon as we can. The committees have been approved tonight. These will not be changed for Thursday. I will make that order tomorrow, and I will need to order a few more of these, obviously. In 2 weeks, that board will be updated. And just one last thing, when you look in the new business here, we have a public hearing on Monday. That is a rezoning request for 815 and 825 East Mansfield Street. The gentleman out there has a storage business he wants to expand. That is a public hearing. It's at 6 o'clock. I don't have the time up here, but it's at 6 o'clock on Monday. That is everyone in council. We don't necessarily need a forum because we took no action in the public hearing. It's just to hear people comment on the rezoning request. But if you can all be here or at least on forum, that would be appreciated. And the floor is yours.
Okay, and then Monday, January 20th, Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, city offices are open.